Welcome to Brian's Action Figure Reviews, and it's Pop Culture Interview Day today. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Today we've got a brand new pop culture interview, and my guest is Bekki Tubridy, who is an SFX, I got it right, makeup artist, video gamer, and lover of anime. We had a good long chat, so make sure you guys check it out, and drop a like, drop a comment, and drop a subscribe, and stay tuned for more. Thanks, guys. Enjoy the interview. Hi, everyone. This is Brian from Brian's Action Figure Reviews. I'm here with another pop culture interview, and today my guest is Bekki Tubridy, who is an SFX makeup artist. See, I fuck up all the time. How's it going, Beck?
I'm going good. How are you doing?
I'm good. So, tell everybody a little bit about yourself to start off.
My name is Bekki, as you have already introduced.
Just about.
Just about. I am a small person. Grew up in Limerick, Ireland. Should I really be telling people my personal details of where I live?
Well, if you don't give them your address, you should be fine. Like.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
No air codes, please.
Yeah. There's like a lot to say, but not much to say. So I just like, my favorite color is red. It's a lovely color. It's good. Brian, ask me more questions.
Okay, so, right, how we met each other was the film business and makeup, as I saw butchered a while ago, SFX makeup. There you go. So tell us what got you interested in that.
Oh, God. I've been a big fan of horror, especially like monster makeup and everything there. Big fan of that when I figured out what that was in my teenage years. But I've always been a huge fan of horror because of my brother, Steve. He would torture me with like watching constant like him playing horror games when I was a young child and everything there, you know. So kind of get night terrors. He used to wake up like I remember Resident Evil. I remember Resident Evil 3 with the subway scene and everything there. Yeah. I remember that scene so clearly because I nearly cried out of fear. I was such a little kid at the time. But anyway, so I've always had an interest in monsters and everything there. But when I figured out that special effects makeup was a thing when I was a teenager, I was just dabbling and doing bits and pieces of different makeup, looking up like documentaries on it and getting small bits of liquid latex and tissue and everything there and doing like that kind of stuff. And as time went on, like I kind of put it down to as a hobby because at that time there wasn't a lot of opportunities to do special effects makeup without me relocating, really. So then when I was asked to help out on the 3 Don'ts at one stage, I was just like, yeah, sure, great. We'll actually try it out, and I'll put some of the small bit of amateur practice I have into practice, and so that's what kind of got me into all that. It was just been it's never really been not a part of my years, you know. When I actually understood what it was, I've had an interest in it. Yeah. Like I remember being fascinated by Buffy the Vampire Slayer with the vampires and their makeup and everything there. I remember just being fascinated, like, how did they do that?
That was actually like really good, wasn't it, for a low budget show?
Yeah, like that was brilliant. But yeah, no, that was really kind of like the interest. There's no big huge story with this, but it's just always been there.
Cool. So like you worked on a lot of projects, like even a lot with myself and a lot with Brother Tubbs, who we all know terrorizing us now. So what project would you be most proud of?
I'd be most proud of. Give me a second.
Yeah, all the time in the world.
I guess. To be honest though, there's one that was one of my most proudest moments. It was. Oh God, actually sorry. I'm trying to think now. I'm actually getting 2 memories collided here. It's just like 2 seconds. Like it was kind of like, that was a different person. But okay, I guess most recent thing would have been like the parish and everything there with the creature. When I made the creature and everything for that, because that one broke my fucking melt. And I remember because I had to wear it a few times because we couldn't get a hold of Steve the entire time to be in the costume. And that costume itself weighed 1.5 stones. Wow. So I had to put that on, and I was really getting a workout just trying to stick all these baby parts onto it and everything there. But it would have been one of those. I say the first time I think I was with you and Richie at the time, and it was the first time we were doing the apple scene and everything there for a
oh blade. Yes, Fight Club. Yeah
Fight Club. Yeah, sorry, getting all the things mixed up there. But I think it was when I actually first did a proper prosthetic, I guess, in a way, and stuff like that, and it actually stuck, and it stayed, and it was great.
Was that the one that was on the side of my face or
Yeah,
something?
the
Yeah,
blade,
yeah.
not the switchblade, sorry,
It's like a razor blade.
it was a razor blade, yeah, the razor blade inside the face, everything there. So I loved that. And there's a lot of them, actually. That's the thing there. There's actually a lot of them I'm really, really proud of looking back now. Like, there's no kind of one that outshines the other one, because it seemed like I was just a turbulent wreck through all of them trying to get them done. So all of them kind of colliding together where I'm like, it's finished. Thank God.
It's like the children. You can't really choose between them. Well, you're not supposed to, like, but
That's what everyone does, though. Everyone
yeah,
does.
everyone does it.
I don't have kids, by the way. Just,
No,
just
no,
but
neither do
everyone
I,
does.
so I don't
Everyone
want
does.
them either.
Okay, so.
So you mentioned a love of horror there and stuff. Like, is there any character from any big horror video games that you'd personally like to work on? Like, try and recreate, maybe?
Oh, God. Name anything from Silent Hill. Anything
Yeah.
from Silent Hill. Any single creature that comes up with that is with Silent Hill, because I love the sheer amount of just psychological fuck up. Sorry, my luckers.
Oh, of course I like.
Yeah, the sheer psychological fuck up that happens with that. Like, every single creature, except the fact that they all kind of have an underlying sexual tone to them, which is kind of, fair enough, it's horror. But
That's Japanese.
yeah, that's in there. Like, there was one creature, and I found him to be, what was his name? He was in Silent Hill 2, and he was Angela's manifestation of her father, and everything. I can't remember the actual creature's name and everything there, but like, he was just terrifying. But I've always wanted to recreate that, because the actual, like, the mounds on it, like, just, yeah. Sorry, again, like, so tongue tied.
It's
But,
kind of like the perished creature with things coming off it and stuff, isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah, that's in the more prosthetics that you put on a person's body, like, just a real disgusting creature. That's I really like. But I actually would love to make something like similar to Silent Hill, where there's a lot of psychological reasoning behind it. Like, they're actually like a manifestation of someone's mind, not like say the creature was kind of like a manifestation of other things and everything there, but like, this one would be just primarily from the person's mind. I love that. And I love how Silent Hill does that. I really love how they actually bring in this new form of horror element, how they did, And
Plays on your own kind of psyche, like, doesn't it?
that's it, yeah. And especially, like, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent about that. I love the fact that with the, say, in the second one and everything there, like, I think it was Laura, the young girl, but the fact that she is, like, innocent, but in the sense that she's nothing to really feel guilty for. So Silent Hill, the actual thing, hasn't created a monster for her. Like, she hasn't gone through enough of that trauma to incite like guilt in any shape or form, So I love that she's running through and she sees no monsters, while like James and Angela and frat boy puke a lot. Like, he doesn't even like, by the way, spoiler alert, so like, mute me for a second.
That game is about 20 years old, to be fine.
That's true, just in case anyone decides to pick it up. So the fact that he killed a fucking dog, he doesn't even deserve a name. Oh, I remember his name. No, I'm not even gonna mutter it. He doesn't deserve that. But yeah, so yeah, Silent Hill.
I can only imagine the amount of shit I would see if I ever went to Silent Hill, so let's leave that there.
Same, actually. Same, actually. To be honest, though, I do think they'll probably be all, like, somewhat scantily clad women, and I'm not really sure why. It's just like, I'm just guessing, so I'm just like, I just know that would happen.
Okay, so tell us, let's move on from the makeup stuff for a minute. Tell us about your love of anime.
Oh, God. I have watched anime before I even knew what anime was. I think most people who are a fan of anime have been watching anime before they knew what it was. Like, my first big one that I was obsessed with, so much so that my imaginary friend was Sora, was Digimon. Digimon was, I think I've talked to you about this before, so like, it is my absolute favorite one. Like, that started my whole love for it. I used to spend ages just picking up the cards, the art books, the whole thing there. And then like, when I started kind of getting into my teenage years, I started going down the whole, I think it's pronounced weeaboo or something, like
weeaboo, or
weeaboo or something like that. Yeah, we was like, I'm slightly ashamed of how much I thought like Japan was this glorified country, but I think when you're a teenager, you don't really think of the connotations of that, like. No. But the consequences of that, not the connotations. But like, I've watched so many anime. I can't even, like, I guess, like would you like kind of name out some favorites, or just like talk about?
Well, whatever you like. Well, the next question actually was, what was your favorite? So yeah, go from there. I don't mind.
I guess my favorites out of shows would be 12 Kingdoms. 12 Kingdoms was very, very good. It was like 56 episodes, but it was just, I loved the fact that they had a female character at the very start who was very meek and very kind of easily manipulated and controlled by people. She didn't really have a voice, but like she had this pale skin with like this dark red hair. But then when she was brought into this kind of like it was like an alternate reality of ancient China. I think looking back now, it's kind of like an ancient China and everything there. But like, so I can be quoted if I'm wrong there and stuff like that. It's been a long time since I watched it. But yeah, no, it was amazing. The fact that when she went there, she slowly, like, her she could understand the language. Her skin became tanned. Her hair became much more vibrant, and she slowly became a badass. Slowly kind of found her personality, and then became a warrior to like an empress kind of thing. So it was really, really cool. And then also
kind of like her ideal self or something, was it?
That's it. Yeah, it was kind of like her ideal self and everything there. Like there was a lot of magic. There was talking animals. Like it was a lot of like mixture of different. Like I would recommend anyone to watch 12 Kingdoms. It's not old by any means. I think it's like between 2002 2005 it was made.
A lot of the best animes are from back then or anyway.
It is. Oh my god! Like especially with like Dot Hack and like Full Metal Alchemist and everything there. Like Full Metal Alchemist is like one of the best animes ever made.
I watched the very first episode of it about 2 days ago.
Oh shit! You serious?
Yeah, because I just got Netflix back, so I was like asking around, do I watch Brotherhood first or do I watch the regular one first? So I just put on the first episode to see what it was like. So
okay.
Because I just finished Attack on Titan season 1 as well.
Oh, you just finished that? Yeah, Attack on Titan is really good. Like, I had an obsession with that when it first came out. I'm not going to give any spoilers, of course, but I started reading on the manga as time went on. And I started actually kind of losing interest. Maybe I might go back into it, but there's, like, without giving spoilers, it got very political. And I was just like, oof.
I find the main character is very, very intense and whiny.
He's constantly triggered. Because that's
triggered.
It's not even making fun of the word trigger, because that is an actual thing. He actually is triggered. Like the kid goes through so much PTSD, and he's constantly here's the layer cake of PTSD, and every single day there's a new layer added to it. And it's like, no wonder he yells and screams all the time. I mean, like I would be internally screaming if I wasn't outwardly screaming.
He's just like a tweak in South Park for me.
That's it. Yeah, that's really what he's like. Actually, yeah. That's really what happens. Like. Yeah, it's like thanks. Like there was if no one's actually watched it, there's the thing on YouTube called Attack on Titan the Abridged series, and it's about 24 minutes. It kind of matches up maybe like the first 4 episodes, but it is absolutely brilliant. Like it just every single time he's like a Titan, what was it Titan trigger, and it's just he's just screaming constantly. And Armin, like you can't understand him because the way I talk very fast. He talks even faster, but like 10 times that, and it's just, you have to watch it. It's brilliant. It is so good.
So, you kind of covered that already. I was going to say, what would you recommend for people to watch now?
Right now, 7 Deadly Sins.
Yeah, that's on Netflix as well. I've seen that as well.
Because it kind of took me a bit to get into it in that sense. Sorry, just like another chance there. Like it kind of took me a bit to get into it first because I'm not really a fan of ecchi anime, so that's kind of like if it has more boobs than storyline, I kind of lose interest a little bit. You know, it's just like
some of them are just downright titillation, like.
That's it. Yeah, it's exactly that. So when I first watched the first or second episode, I'm like, not really my thing. But I kind of gave it a go, and the actual storyline just took a full swing into it. Like I actually thought it was brilliant. And have you watched it yet?
No, not yet.
You must give it a go. Because I think the newest season's coming out this month, as far as I know, and it's brilliant. It's so good. Oh, and also one other one. Sorry, I'm actually obsessed with this. So obsessed with this, I might get a tattoo of her on my body. Agretsuko?
I haven't heard of that one actually.
It's on Netflix, and it's so good. It is this tiny little. I think she's a red panda. Yeah, she's a red panda, and everyone's animals inside it. But she's this tiny little thing that is just like constantly a yes woman. Like she works like she's a corporate worker inside Japan, in modern day Japan. And she's working with a lot of people there in, like, I think it's a newspaper firm. I can't actually remember. But, yeah, so she's, like, this kind of not exactly meek, but she keeps everything in. Like, she's like, whenever someone yells at her, she's yelling at them back in her head.
Yeah, another person.
That's it, yeah. So she's constantly always saying yes. She's constantly always doing that. But the thing is, what her hobby is to let out stress is she goes to karaoke bars nearly every night to sing heavy metal. And like she's just screaming heavy metal, and like there's these flames. There's these flames that come around her, and she's just like fucking belting it out, and it's so good. It's so good. Like when I first watched it, I'm like, this is incredible. I actually love it. And all the characters are so good inside. There's this dude, and he's like a gym instructor, but the only line he has the entire thing is protein. It's just the entire time he's like protein. It's like, you must give it a go. It's actually so good.
Okay. Like the one thing I find with anime, when the difference with that and regular cartoons, is if I find a good one, I will binge the shit out of it until it's finished. Because like I did Death Note in a couple of days. I did Attack on Titan in 2 days, first season. So yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Kind of addictive when I get going. So let's move on to video gaming. Tell us about your love of video games.
Oh, I've been playing video games so I could hold a controller. Like because I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest by like my family by like 11, 12 years. So by the time I discovered what hands were, my brothers were already big into games, you know. So just like, so I'd be, like I said, with Steve and everything there, I'd be watching him play horror games and everything. But yeah, no, I've played so many. I have like an obsession with RPGs, especially like JRPGs. My first proper game that I got into, be the fact that like I was too scared. I actually had this anxiety of dying in games. I had this major anxiety. So I used to get my friend Jess to play through the games, so I didn't have the actual anxiety. I can get into the story, but I'd be like this person writing down all these secret notes and the directions of where we need to go and how we need to like accomplish stuff. And like Final Fantasy X would have been the main one that I actually would have like kind of set my love for all that. I was big into gaming after that.
Like you were kind of watching Let's Plays before Let's Plays were a thing.
Yeah, mostly, yeah. Like I actually was like, I think that's the reason why I still watch Let's Plays now, and like there's a sense of actually like nostalgia there, maybe. That's the reason why I feel like so comfortable doing it, besides it being entertaining. But I guess like, yeah, Final Fantasy X would be my absolute like favorite one to play at the very beginning of like my gaming love.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, the game, yeah. But yeah, no, there's been so many games. Like oh god, I think I played more games than I've watched anime at this point. Like, honestly, like I could probably name out so many. I actually find, to be honest, though, how people usually find book reading, I actually find that's kind of the same satisfaction I get with gaming.
Yeah,
I know.
Understand.
Yeah, that's the thing. I know people tend to kind of look down on people who game and everything there, but it's like with anything. Like if you do something and it actually jeopardizes your everyday life, then it's an issue. But if you're doing it as a hobby,
exactly, you're not hurting no one who cares.
Exactly, and you're not hurting yourself either. So like I know people who do have gaming addictions, especially in this day and age and stuff like that with the online gaming. There actually is like an addiction thing happening there. I'm not gonna say that doesn't exist, especially with the younger generation now, because they grew up around it. There was actually no separation from it whatsoever, you know.
But I think it's like what I do, action figure collecting, right? There's a stigma, like, but at the end of the day, it's not as bad now because the Big Bang Theory and stuff like that has kind of moved it into the mainstream a bit more. But at the end of the day, like, if you're not doing drugs, smoking fags, going out getting pissed every weekend, who cares? Do what you want to do, like.
Exactly, I agree with you entirely, and that's the thing there. Like, it's just. And I don't really like the fact that like that kind of stuff gets. By the way, is the lighting still okay, or is it?
Oh yeah, you're perfect.
Like I don't really like the fact that people who do play a lot of games get looked down on because it is. But people who do read a lot of books, kind of like, oh yeah, this person is very well read and everything.
Well, they're knowledgeable.
They're knowledgeable. They know so much. I'm just like, yeah, but it's just you're kind of talking about. Let's say you kind of a person there like who would view it that way would kind of view someone playing games constantly as someone who. Let's say kind of like Candy Crush or something like that. Something that doesn't require a lot of thinking, doesn't require a lot of like dexterity with hands or whatever, or even like critical thinking, like especially in like choice-based games and everything. Like that stuff is like you're playing through a story. And yeah, I can go on forever on that because it's just like it's not like most people are gamers now. Like nearly like most people in the general population, if they can afford a console, they have one. But yeah, no, actually that's the thing there. I find it to be a very, very relaxing hobby, like genuinely. So,
definitely.
And I love the fact that I can actually get transported into the stories because I know for a good while, especially when I was a teenager, no one knew who the fuck they were. Like no one had any idea.
So I used to have this.
That's the no. To be honest, no one still knows what the fuck they're doing. No one has any clue. But I remember I used to say if I played games and a character really resonated with me, even if they weren't exactly like me, but I felt like a connection with them, I would try to take on their personality. And it's not the fact that I tried to manipulate people or anything like that, but I felt like this they had so many good qualities that I liked, so I tried to emulate those qualities.
Yeah, it's like playing through Red Dead Redemption 2 for me. Firstly, I was acting, messing and acting like a dick, but then eventually, as you get to know the character, you're like, no, he wouldn't do that. So
Yeah.
you're like, he's a good guy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Arthur Morgan is a good man.
yeah.
He's a goddamn good man.
So, a question about gaming, like you say there, you love getting sucked into a story. Would you rather like play a game where you're in someone else's story, or would you rather a game where you start out and you create your own character and make your own adventure kind of thing, like so?
I think the whole like create your own character has a lot of replayability and you can actually easily get lost in that kind of world and just have this long-standing thing. But I feel that I actually, for games where I create the character and play through it, I kind of tend to feel a little bit more of a disconnect. Of course, because even though you're playing as yourself. To be honest, this is probably something I should probably talk to someone about. It's like, oh, you play as yourself, but I feel disconnected from that. But you're playing as yourself, like, oh shit. But yeah, no, I feel a little bit more disconnected from that because it's just like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I kind of get a little bit more. What's the word I'm thinking of? I kind of vegetate a bit more with those kind of games. I'm not really thinking much, even though like those games require you to actually answer questions and everything there. Like,
Yeah.
I guess it really depends on the game as well, because there's one like Dragon Age, because the characters' personalities were so strong, that kind of felt a little bit more okay. But let's say with Skyrim and Oblivion and everything there, like they're great games, but I still felt that I vegetated a bit more.
Yeah, I had no connection when playing those games at all.
Yeah, that's it. There was actually no connection there.
Whereas The Witcher will say you feel instantly connected to Geralt. So it's a similar game, like.
Actually, I need to actually play The Witcher. Will you believe I haven't played it?
Just sign over your life because it's about 100 and something hours.
Oh shit! Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. I might have time depending on how things go tomorrow. So, but yeah, no, it's
okay. Last one. Where to find you and what have you any projects coming up soon that you can talk about?
No projects right now. No projects right now. I'm just kind of doing my own thing right now. Just kind of Jesus, yeah. Well, Well, to be honest though, like I'm just kind of getting life stuff in order at this moment because the makeup stuff was great and everything there, but because I never kind of went further with it as a full-time job, and like I said, I would have to probably relocate. This before the whole thing with Troy Studios and stuff like that as well. But like if Troy Studios actually have something going on that I feel really interested in and stuff like that, I'm gonna put my work out there, of course, and just say like, please, the love of God, senpai, notice me. But other than that, yeah, no, just getting life stuff in order. I am planning once things actually do kind of like settle down and the dust kind of dissipates and everything, is to start up on my Instagram page. I haven't actually made it yet, but there's plans for an Instagram page to actually start getting start getting my actual projects out and create these fantastical creatures that I want to in my head, because I'm constantly drawing monsters, constantly. Like
I never even asked you about your drawing actually, because you're a fantastic drawer. So tell us a little bit about that before we go.
Oh yeah, geez. With the drawing, my dad has been teaching me how to draw since I was about 4 years old. Because he used to go on the trucks a lot, so he'd be away quite a bit. So his idea of us bonding, when he was away for so long, was every single Sunday we would have a crafts day, and we did this. I mean, like for years. I think we stopped when I was like a teenager and stuff like that, because like dads aren't cool anymore. I want to be. I was going through my goth phase as well and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh god, no, parents can't be your friends, of course. Like even more so because I had that little angsty thing going on. But yeah, no, it was my dad had been teaching me since I was 4 years old, and I was constantly like, art was kind of more my escape, I guess, in a weird way. If something bad was happening as a child and everything, just kind of going into the serious note for a sec. When something bad happened as a child, I would draw. I think that was probably my kid brain trying to release the tension and everything there. But yeah, no, I'm still drawing to this day. I still like creating a lot of stuff and everything there. I actually haven't been drawing much on paper. I actually been doing a lot more digital art.
Right.
Yeah, so I recently got like a starting one. I recently got like the Wacom. It's I can never say the second one. Inturos. But it's a little pistachio thing and everything. The little color is gorgeous. But I'm creating a lot of digital art. But I'm hoping that maybe if I can actually get the Instagram page up, then I can actually work more on digital art then to actually have a side by side of like this is the creature I created in my head, this creature that's created on a person. So yeah, no, I still love drawing. Would like to actually get back into it a bit more, but we'll see how that goes anyway.
Awesome. So thanks for coming on, Bex. You're a fucking star.
No problem.
And we will drop any links you have in the description and stuff. And thanks once more for coming on. And
Great.
we'll leave it there.